Hello, my name's Rhi. I'm 59 years of age and I'm soon to be 60. I'm going to be 60 at the end of September, which is a little bit daunting. And it has really made me think about getting older, what my 50s have been like, and I've really tried to think of some positives about getting older, and there are many. This is what this video is about. So, hope you'll enjoy it. The first one is, as you get a little bit older, you have more of an appreciation for life. I mean, we all know people that are starting to get poorly or who've had partners with issues. We've ourselves got aging parents, or, some unfortunately have not got parents with them anymore. None of us get through life without being affected to some extent by illness. It's a sobering thought, and none of us get out of here alive, do we? But it does give you, as you're getting older, a little bit of an appreciation of life because, let's face it, we've got a limited time here. So we have to really make the most of every single minute, and we've got no choice but to keep going forward. Now, I don't want to diminish, anyone who's suffering a bereavement or who's in pain or who has serious illness. I can't think of anything worse. But on a normal everyday basis, as we age, we do have to take that time to enjoy the little things in life, the changing seasons. I'm looking outside the window now and my neighbour's still got a beautiful rose bush, and some of the roses are still out and they're absolutely beautiful. And it's true what they say, that we have to take the time to appreciate everything that we've got. The sort of, even the rain can be very annoying, but at least we have rain. The sunshine, friends, family. It's really important to count our blessings and appreciate life in all its different forms. The second thing about aging is sort of taking time or having more time to do the things that you enjoy yourself. I mean, that's certainly the case for me. I'm really lucky that I've retired early. But, my children are all grown up, they're all adults. A few years ago, as a busy working mum and single parent, all you do, you feel like you're just running around like a headless chicken from one thing to another. I thrived at work. I really enjoyed being busy until I didn't. I got burnt out, but that's a whole other story. But there's a time for everything, isn't there? And as you get older, you appreciate more the time for yourselves. Like Sunday night always used to be, for me, ironing children's uniform and shirts and those mountains of washing. And I don't have that anymore. I've got more of a freedom. I've got more freedom. I've only got myself, well, my partner, my mum, the kids still, I guess, to think about. But there's more chance to think about myself and to put myself first. And that it's okay to be selfish. We've all got to lead our own lives and do things that we enjoy, whether that be on a big scale or a small scale. You don't want to get near to your deathbed in your 90s, cross fingers and think, well, I didn't actually live my life. I was too busy doing what my husband wanted, what my parents wanted, what the children wanted, looking after the grandkids. It's important to get some balance. All those things are really important. Relationships and family are so important, but also your relationship with yourself, to have some time for yourself. And that's the third one, really, about aging, recognizing more your relationship with yourself and looking after yourself and thinking, well, actually, what do I want? As I've got older, I've realized that I don't care so much what other people think about me. that it's okay to do things that I enjoy, and maybe sometimes those things are a bit quirky. Maybe I'm doing some things that my friends say, oh, what are you doing that for? Why are you going for these long walks? You didn't do that before. Or trying something different like YouTube. I don't know where that came from, but I decided to start a channel. But it's okay to try different things. It's okay to be ready to get a bit of egg on your face, to make a bit of a fool of yourself. If not now, when? It's okay to start thinking a little bit more selfishly and think, well, what is it that I want to do? I know when I retired and had a bit more time, I had to really stop and think, well, what do I like to do? Because, I've spent so long busy, 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 busy with not much time to myself. And now all this time was stretching in front of me. I thought, well, I can just carry on as I was, doing not a lot, or I can think, well, what do I want to do? It's a whole new lease of life. Do I want to take up a hobby? Do I want to think back to my childhood, the things that I enjoyed then? I used to be a real bookworm, and while I was working, I didn't have as much time to read for pleasure. So, now I've got time to do that, and I've joined a book club, which is amazing. So, I'm really enjoying it. And there must be things that you did as a child or throughout your adult life and that you're no longer doing, but maybe it's time to think about that and take it up again. The other thing is relationships, friendships, family relationships, partnerships are so important. It's what life's all about, really, isn't it? But it is okay to reevaluate them, whatever your age. I mean, I went through a divorce, it's probably 15 or so years ago now, and no one wants that, do they? When you get married, you love that person with all your heart and you think it's going to be forever. But if you're finding that as you've got older, you've grown apart, or you're not happy, or maybe you realise things about that other person that you thought, I don't want to live with that, I don't want that in my life. And that can be really, really difficult. But it's okay if you want to make those changes. And the same for friendships. Maybe reconnect with people that you haven't seen for a while, or think, oh, maybe this particular friendship's not working. That person might be really mean to you or gossipy, and you think, maybe I'll let them drift a bit. And that's okay as well. We get into this habit, don't we, of doing the same things, of being a people pleaser, wanting to make everyone else happy. But we have to think about ourselves too. And as you get older, you don't have to be as much as a people pleaser. I wouldn't say totally disregard that, because I guess it's about respect, building relationships with your family. You do have commitments. I do have a sense of duty towards my family as well as a pleasure. But you don't have to fully do what everyone else wants or not what you want. It's okay to say no. And I've discovered as I've got a little bit older that I'm more skilled and more confident to say no. So sometimes if my friends ask me to do something, and several of them are doing, going to a particular party or going off somewhere, and I think, oh, I don't fancy that, I don't really want to do that, I've learned how to say no in a sort of gentle way. Whereas before, when I was younger, I'd just go, oh yeah, fear of missing out or not wanting to let them down, or I'd have made an excuse if I really didn't want to go. But now I think, no, let's be honest, that's not really my bag, that's not my thing, I don't want to do that. And I think that works really, really well. The other thing, as you get older, or I've discovered, I'm really talking about myself, I'm no expert, but it's how you talk to yourself. And I think that is so important. That little voice that's going on in your head all the time, can be very critical, can be supportive. It's just on and on and on, isn't it? That commentary. Sometimes I find myself arguing with someone that I haven't seen for years and think, what am I doing? I'm recreating those feelings. I don't need to do that. But it's how you think about yourself. And I've discovered as I've got older how important it is to be gentle with myself and talk about myself in my own mind kindly. I know, our bodies change. I'm not as thin as I want to be. Wrinkles are coming, grey hairs. And we just have to come to terms with that and accept it. I personally don't believe in diets. I've never dieted. I just don't think it's healthy. But I do think it's really, really important to try and exercise and to eat a little bit more healthily. I'm trying all the time to eat more veg or more fruit, less sugar. I do try to get my steps in every day, drink lots of water. I do try to do some stretching and gentle exercises, and continually think how that I can build more activity, more movement, and more healthy eating, healthy recipes into my life. But I'm also quite gentle with myself. I'm never going to be that size 8 or 10 that I was as a teenager. I've been a size 12 to 14 most of my adult life, mainly a size 12, more recently fluctuating between a 12 and a 14. And I'm never going to give up on trying to do something about that, but in a very gentle way. And I'm very careful if I hear my little voice in my mind criticizing myself. Oh, look, look at your belly. You're not as fit. Oh, so and so's thinner than you. I remind myself that it's okay to be me. There's always going to be someone taller. I'm only 5 foot. There are people shorter. There are people prettier, younger, thinner. That is always going to be the case. You can't judge yourself by other people's standards, and you've just got to do your best with however you are and accept yourself. And as we age, well, I guess I have quite a few preconceived ideas of what aging is like, aches and pains and worries about my memory going. But I try to pull myself back from that and not worry too much, because worrying doesn't change anything. Making change to your routines does help. I'm hoping that the little things that I do, like the walking, will help keep me fitter and more flexible as I'm going into old age. But there's no point in worrying too much. What I do think is that you really just have to make the most of every opportunity to keep thinking about, how do I want to live my life? What things do I still want to do? Where do I want to travel to? How am I going to do that? That's another good thing, isn't it, about getting a bit older? The mortgage is finally paid off. Yay! Now I'm lucky enough to be retired, which, oh my gosh, my freedom. You cannot put a price on freedom. It's such a lovely feeling. And, I keep having to remind myself to relish that lovely feeling of freedom. All those years of work for me as a teacher, it's a timetable, there's the bell, the terms, and now I can sleep in as long as I like, although I find I don't want to. Yeah, it's a lovely feeling. But yeah, is there anything else? Let's see. Ah, I'm not so afraid to share my opinion. When I was younger, I was really shy. I'd probably go along with what other people said. And now, as I'm entering into my 60s soon, I'm not so afraid to say what I think and give my opinion. I think that I'm quite kind-hearted and flexible in my opinion, and I know how to share my opinion gently. I'm not the loudest person in the room, but it's okay. It's okay to have your own views and share those with other people. I guess this YouTube channel is part of that, being able to say what I think and my thoughts being valid, as are everyone else's, whether they be the same as mine or different. You know, that's okay. Anyway, it would be really nice if you put something in the comments that you have enjoyed as you've got older, or something that you're looking forward to. I mean, we can all think of things that are not so good. Don't get me started on menopause. But anyway, pushing all that aside, let's celebrate getting older. Let's celebrate the changes that come to us, the changes in our body, and embrace it. Well, I'll try and do that when I turn 60. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you haven't already, I'd be really grateful if you could consider subscribing. It's totally free for you, but it makes a big difference to me. So hopefully see you again in another video. Take care. Bye.